Happy to talk to you about this film. I think the historical context is quite fascinating. I didn't know that much about it, but it's been extraordinary to revisit it. Tell us about you. Did you know much about the context?
I knew absolutely nothing about it. It was very much a full-fledged education for me in so many elements of it. And I mean, even just, how long Britain ruled India, how many people, 500 million people, what the impact was of partition, but also the period of time that they were dealing with it, that it all happened within a 6-month period of time. Just all of it was completely new information.
How much information is available on Edwina Mountbatten? Because I think, you kind of embodied her completely, body language, way of speech, everything about her to the...
Oh, thank you. There is quite a lot. I mean, there's a lot to read. There are a lot of books. There's biographies and there's autobiographies, not of hers, but of her daughter. And there's video. There's YouTube video. There's video out there that's on YouTube, and there's also family videos that we had access to.
How is it being there filming? Does it kind of you're there basically?
Well, I think for a film like this, it was more than essential that we were actually on the ground in India filming this. I can't imagine, doing it in Essex or something. So it was had a big impact, I think, on all of our experience, feeling like we were there.
How much is historically accurate? And obviously this is a movie, not a documentary, but how much is historically accurate, especially about Lord and Lady Mountbatten's intentions going to India and what happened there?
As I understand it, it is very historically accurate. I think they did a great deal of research about it, and Gorinda had been working on it for a very long time and spoken to many people and read many accounts. And so my understanding is that it's very accurate.
I just interviewed Gorinda. She's full of passion about the project. It's so important to her. How much does that infuse a project and make it all the more important when the director is so involved in the story?
Yeah, of course it does. It absolutely does, especially if you're shooting in a different country that is the home country to a degree of the director, and there is a message at the heart of it, and she is incredibly passionate about the subject matter and about getting this information out there and educating people in a new way about what happened at the time and the impact that it had on so many.
Did you get the chance to visit the house? Obviously, it's a government building now. I understand it was shot from the outside, but the inside, did anyone go in, visit?
I think a couple of people did at some point later on. They went inside, but apparently the palace that we were shooting in, which is a hotel and a working palace, which is humongous, and you see it in the film and it's on the poster, that is a quarter of the size of the actual palace, apparently.
Yeah, so it's quite impressive.
Yeah.
But as you say, it makes Buckingham Palace look like a bungalow or something.
Yes, yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Tell us about costumes, costumes at the time. How did you work with the costume designer, and how much does it inform the character?
I rely very heavily on costumes, on all of it, on makeup and wig and costume. So it was a really wonderful journey that I think we all went on with the costume designer. And interestingly, as they say in the film, when they were there, they ended up just having what they are called shift dresses, these multi-floral dresses made up with, based on one particular cut, just for simplicity and lightness, because they arrived with furs and silks and all,
with the cold of Britain.
Yes, yeah.
It feels like there's a lot to admire about this woman. Is it the right impression, and how much more did you discover?
I think so. I mean, I didn't know anything about her, and I knew, initially in finding out, in reading the script and appreciating, what the script says that she, who she was. But the more you read about how she applied herself and how she was of service, not just at the time that they were in India, but prior to that, when the war broke out, and she really applied herself to the ambulance services and to improving the state of affairs for nurses and the nursing boards, and so she was used to being very, very active, being very proactive, and so I grew to really like her, actually.
Yeah, she is quite likable in the film as well. Tell us about working with Hugh.
Well, he's a lot of fun. He's very, very funny. He always keeps it nice and light. But he's also obviously a very serious actor as well. And he's a joy. He's a pleasure.
Were you a fan of Downton Abbey, and was he a fan of X-Files? I'm sure you've been asked
I
that
don't
question
know if he
today.
was. I haven't watched Downton Abbey, and I don't know if he was a fan of the X-Files. I'm not sure if we discussed it.
Yeah, no, exactly. You're in a completely different environment for it, so it just makes it different. However, it was quite nice that the cast was so eclectic in it. You know, it's everybody coming from all over the world and all these things. So how much did everybody spend a lot of time together? Was it a joyful set?
It was very much a joyful set. I mean, it was it was pretty hot for the crew. You know, a lot of outdoor stuff. There were a few scenes, many scenes that took an entire day outside under the hot sun. We had the luxury of being able to go back inside into the air conditioning. But yes, there were a lot of periods of time where we were, sat to the side. Jumbled up together, chatting between takes and etc. It was a really nice group of people.
Was it your first time in India or first time filming in India?
I've been in India many times, and I shot a film there a couple of years prior to that, very, very different film called Sold, which is about sex trafficking.